Could this be the best family EV on sale today? I mean, just look at it. It is so beautiful. The coefficient of drag is actually only 0.216, and that means that...
No, you're doing it completely wrong. What you good people like to know is if the Tesla Model YL is a good family car, does it actually fit 6 full-size adults, and what's it like to really live in?
And is it as good to drive as a Ferrari 296 GTB?
Buzz off.
So the Model YL can be pretty hard to tell apart from a regular Model Y, especially from this angle, because look, the two cars have pretty much the same face. They've got the same slim headlights, the same light bar, the same super clean design. And look, there's no badge here to tell people like, hey, I gave my money to Elon Musk. It's the same as the regular Y.
But over here, you start to see the difference. There's a little hint with this triple Y badge, which tells you that there are actually 3 rows. And if you take a step back, there is more bulk and an extended roof line which creates more space for the 3rd row.
But that's not all. The Model YL is actually 186 millimeters longer than the regular Y. The wheelbase is more than 3 meters long, so that's like 15 centimeters longer than the standard Ys. And the body itself is 42 millimeters taller, so there's a lot of extra metal outside for extra space inside.
So there's only one version of the Model YL in Singapore. It's currently June 2026 as we film this, and the car's price is 144,264 without COE. So roughly about 270k all in.
It has an 88 kilowatt hour battery with nickel manganese cobalt chemistry and an electric motor somewhere down there.
And a motor down there which gives it all-wheel drive and 514 horsepower.
So it's fast. But here in Singapore, you have to pay road tax on your EV according to how powerful it is. And for this car, it's $5,400 a year. Every year. Wait, don't stop watching. Come back. Because you never know. Tesla might do a single motor version one day.
So here's the part of the car that you're really interested in, right? I must say that the space is pretty thoughtfully planned out. You've got 2 cup holders, 2 USB-C charging ports, where it's definitely useful on long drives. Passengers don't have to fight to charge their phone, game consoles, etc. You've got 2 rear aircon vents that is probably gonna help cool off the heat, but you won't be able to adjust the speed and temperature settings. The headroom is definitely good for little people and probably myself, but how would it actually fit a normal size human like Ju-Len? How did you get here?
Well, I decided to come by magic and I brought the ring with me, and that's because, have you seen how difficult it is to squeeze yourself between the 2 middle row chairs? I mean, if you were already here, I would have to kind of squeeze past you as well. So yeah, magic is the only way to travel sometime.
But how do you find the space behind now?
Well, now that I'm actually back here, I think I actually do have a bit of space. Okay, I'm 1.75 meters tall and I still actually have a little bit of space above my head. Let me see, I can adjust the seat, but oh yeah, okay, I can actually only make things slightly worse for myself. But I think I'm not feeling like I'm cramped.
There's still some space between us.
Yeah, so the upper half of my body is quite happy, but the lower half? Well, look at this. I mean, even your legs are kind of high up in the air right now, right? And there's no space under this seat as well. If I want to tuck my feet underneath here, I kind of have to sit at an angle like this. Same with you, right? So that leaves this space here for us to get comfortable and stretch out. But, unless we're comfortable with each other, we're going to have to do it one leg at a time, one person at a time, yeah. So yeah, upper half happy, lower half not so much.
I tried a seat test with my 2 kids. So one's 5, one's 8, and they could definitely sit very comfortably behind. I also tried it out with myself and my 8-year-old versus my 5-year-old, and we still sat really comfortably.
Okay, but you know what? I'm a normal sized person. I actually fit back here, I gotta say, but getting back here is a real faff, and I'm also not crazy about the fact that we are actually directly under the sun right now. And this, I don't think, has the same sort of heat rejection coating. So yeah, I'm starting to feel like a piece of pork back here. So I really don't like that.
And that brings us to 3 things we don't like about the Tesla Model YL.
The first thing we dislike is kind of a standard complaint for me, and it's this glass roof. Like, it looks great and it lets light pour into the cabin, right? So it feels nice and airy in here. I don't feel like I'm sitting inside a little tin box. But on a hot day, well, it's supposed to filter out heat energy, but you know what? Sometimes the glass itself does get warm and then it starts to radiate heat into your head. And then before long, well, your scalp starts to feel like a piece of toast. Or maybe my hair is getting a bit thin.
So the second thing we don't like about this car is the limited standard equipment and list of features. For example, there's no 360 parking camera, which is probably useful for a car of this size. There is auto parking, however, that's a payable option of $5,800, which comes packaged with other driving systems. There is no driver front display, there's no head-up display, there is no Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, there is no cooler box, and most importantly, there isn't a massage seat for me to relax. But remember, this car costs $270,000 and you can get these features in a much cheaper car.
Okay, the third thing we dislike is kind of a standard complaint for me, and it is these digitally adjusted aircon vents. So to point cold air at my face, I kind of have to swipe the screen and kind of guess at where the air is gonna go. I really hate them, and I gotta say though, these are kind of clever because you can see that there's one slit over here and then one down here, and I think that one blows air like this, one like that, and to adjust the height of the gust, they just kind of vary the intensity of each one. So yeah, that is actually quite clever and it's nice to look at, but it is not an improvement. It's hard to use, and I think Tesla took a very elegantly simple thing and made it complicated, and I basically complain about these in every car I see them in. But if I'm not wrong, it's Tesla that started all this nonsense in the first place, so I hate these so much. Okay, so it's no good having 3 rows of seats but no boot space, right? Because sometimes you want to carry people and a lot of stuff. So let's see what we have back here. And according to Tesla, with all 3 rows up, you have 420 liters of boot space, which actually sounds like a lot and seems a bit high from what, compared to what I'm seeing right now. I think it's a measurement thing because the American way of measuring things is from floor to ceiling, but the German way of doing it is from floor to the top of the seat backs over here, so the number may not be comparable. So what do? Well, if you're serious about this car, you should bring your stuff down to the showroom and try it out for yourself. You gotta be prepared about these things, unlike me.
Or you bring me, because I'm always prepared.
Okay, fine. Little miss, I'm always prepared. Let's see if this will fit in. And yeah, okay, you can get it in, but I don't think you can close the tailgate. There's not enough space.
Now, we probably have to put the seats down a little bit.
Okay, let's do that. Right, okay, that is better. I think you can close this now, but I know children, okay? Like, if you put them there, they're gonna be like, mommy, I don't sit here. So what do?
Can you please remove the luggage?
Okay, let's put the seats back. So yeah, the precious children can sit properly. And now what?
I'm gonna reveal a secret compartment.
Okay, and this stays up?
Yes, it has a magnetic holder.
Okay, magnets there. And what do you have back there, down there?
I have my trusty compact stroller.
That's like the heaviest burden of all. Okay, so I see you have a deep well here. And I guess electric cars, you don't have a muffler back here. And electric motors are small, right? I've seen like 200 horsepower just this size. So yeah, this can go in, that can definitely close right now. So yeah, that's not bad. Okay, shall we try it with 2 seats down?
Sure.
Why don't you do the honors? Okay, so according to Tesla, when you're in this configuration, you have 1,076 liters. Again, that is floor to ceiling, because it doesn't seem that big to me, but you do really have quite a lot of space. So let me put this in. Yeah, okay, it's pretty huge, but oh yeah, there's that.
We can still leave that.
Oh, yeah, okay, let me put
the compartment.
Just put this like that. So that's a pretty big and versatile space.
Yep, I could definitely do some decathlon shopping, buy some bicycles.
Yeah, okay, shopping, I like the sound of that. So let's try with another 2 seats down there. I'll get this out of your way. And yeah, let's have a close look at just how much space we have back here. According to Tesla, you have 2,423 liters when the seats are down like that. But I gotta say, you don't really have a flat floor. You've got a hump over here, then you've got a big hole between the seats over there. But it's very common in cars with captain's chairs to have that. So I'll give it a pass. You do have a lot of space, but you know what, Ash, if you ask me, like a boot is more than just numbers, right? You've got thoughtful features like I see a 12-volt outlet over there. Okay, plug in a vacuum cleaner. You've got these deep wells on the sides as well. And there's a little hook over here, one hook at least, so I can sort of maybe hook my cold storage bag over here and not have my groceries roll around. So yeah, it's big, but it's also like quite family friendly, and I really like that.
So that brings us to
Three things we like about the Tesla Model YL.
So the first thing we like about the car is the frunk. It has 116 liters of space. It is very deep and spacious. You could actually fit a whole Neo inside. There is also a drainage hole which is useful in hosing down your tapao spillage.
Oh my god!
What?
Someone stole our engine!
Are you serious? So the second thing we really like is the Tesla supercharger network. There are 15 superchargers spread widely across the island, making it really accessible.
And Tesla drivers don't have to compete with other EV drivers to use the network, right? Because it's exclusive to Tesla.
Yes, and when you're using the supercharger, it's also really a seamless charging process.
Right, you don't have to use the app to unlock the cable, the car knows when it's done, the flap closes on its own, all that kind of stuff.
And charging is also pretty fast.
Yeah, it's 250 kilowatts, which is no longer top tier, but still pretty quick. I think you can get this car from 10 to 80% in about half an hour.
Also, the chargers on the Tesla supercharger tend to be slightly cheaper than the third-party ones.
And that is something any true blue Singapore driver would really like. Okay, the third thing to really like about this car, guys, it's really nice to drive. I mean, not just for an EV, mind you, but for any kind of car. So yeah, let's unpack that. So when I sort of turn through the corners like this, there's actually some feedback. You can kind of feel the steering sort of loading up a little bit. You can almost feel like how hard the front rubber is biting into the road. And there's composure as well. I'm going to go through a corner and it doesn't sort of lurch around, you know, the way I do when I've had too much to drink at a party or at home. In fact, it's almost like I'm driving a Model 3 right now, but I'm kind of sitting on top of the phone book. Oof, and this car is fast as well, guys. It's so fast. It has 514 horsepower, 590 Newton meters of torque. So yeah, 0 to 100 is just 5 seconds flat. Holy cow, this is fast. Okay, it could probably use a little bit more sound or noise there to generate some excitement. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think that for driving pleasure, the chassis is more important than raw horsepower. And this car is a great chassis.
So let me tell you a little secret. I actually drive the Model 3 Highland every day. So I'm kind of used to this whole environment. And while it may seem intimidating navigating through this 16-inch screen, it really is just about getting used to it. You'll need to get used to adjusting, for example, the air cons, speed, vents, which Ju-Len absolutely hates. But basically, everything has to be done on the screens, and you may also find it distracting having to glance a little left to look at the map and the speed display. So what I really do appreciate about the system is that there is literally no lag while you're toggling between the functions. And let me show you something really cool. You can actually customize the skin color on the screen. Something Christmassy, or even if you own a Shiba Inu, this could be just something you like. And also, you can easily customize your easy access bar just by dragging in the app that you commonly use. So it's basically an iPad, where my iPad is gonna be different from your iPad, and no two Teslas are the same.
Oof, okay, now this needs to open up a little bit wider. A bit of honest feedback for you there, Tesla. And if you want to see more honest car reviews like this, please consider subscribing. That would really help us out. And it might annoy Tesla. Thank you very much. So here I am in the captain's chairs, which means I'm the master of this vehicle and the person driving is the servant. Do I feel like a master? Well, I do have quite a lot of space in front of me, and I do have a lot of adjustability as well. So let's say someone behind me needs a bit more room, I can do this. I still have space. Or let's say my mother-in-law is sitting behind me, I could do this. I do have this nice sort of armrest. It pops up and down like the Starship Enterprise. So yeah, that's quite cool. Let's leave it like that, shall we? So I think in terms of my position, space and posture, I'm actually pretty comfortable right now. I do have my own aircon vents down there, as well as over here. I've got my own USB-C charging ports, 2 of them, as well as a nice fancy drinks holder. Plus, I have my own little screen down there. Now, it's only 8 inches and I think it's a little bit low and sort of small to be really useful, but it does let me set the fan speed for me and this third row, not the temperature though, and I need to use it to kind of try to aim the cold air at my face. But what's more important is that I have my own entertainment back here. So let's say I want to watch some YouTube. Now, I have immaculate taste in entertainment, right? But if your kids, let's say, have itchy fingers, you don't want them to fill the cabin with nonsense, then you can actually disable this screen from the front and reassume control. Now, I gotta say that in some bigger cars like the Hyundai Ioniq 9, the captain's chair is actually a bit bigger and plusher than this, and many of those come with a flip-up footrest for a bit more calf support as well. But to me, the real question is, wouldn't you have been better off with just a normal 3-seater back here? And I know you would lose the kind of walk-through functionality, but you could design the sort of tip forward and slide forward mechanism just like a normal hatchback. I mean, that would leave you with a 7-seater. Okay, you could argue that, you know, having 2 people in the back is more comfortable than having a 3-seater arrangement back here, but you know what? Even with a 3-seater, you could just put 2 people in the back and then you would be just as comfortable.
Okay, let's talk about range and efficiency for a second here, guys. So the label claim for this car is 14.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and I think that's actually pretty good for a car this size. I mean, that's the kind of efficiency you would expect of a much smaller EV. So yeah, this is, I mean, a 3-row SUV, so 14.6, that's actually crazy good, and I think that's the reason why this car's range is also crazy good. I mean, you're talking about 681 kilometers WLTP, and you know, the battery is not huge, it's 88 kilowatt hours, right? So yeah, I think the efficiency is the main reason, but what I like to do is just kind of subtract 20% and just to be safe, right? And that will give you something like 540 kilometers, which is still very, very impressive. And that brings me to a point, like a lot of people think of Teslas as like gadgets on wheels, right? But when you actually drive the cars, they feel like cars. Like this feels like a proper car to drive. And they are surprisingly light as well. So the Model YL is something like 2.1 tons if I'm not wrong, and if I am wrong, please correct me in the comments. Compare that to something like the BMW iX3, the new one, the Neue Klasse, that is more than 2.3 tons. And remember, that only has 2 rows, that's just 5 seats, right? And we also know from crash tests that Teslas are strong, you know, I mean, they are safe cars. So yeah, if you ask me, there is really some quality engineering going on underneath me. There is some quality automotive engineering. Do you want to know this car's biggest weakness though? I think it's the turning radius, because it's 12.5 meters. So some U-turns are going to be stressful. You're going to need like the better part of nearly 2.5 lanes to do it. So yeah, you better be precise and you better plan carefully. And yeah, obviously you're going to feel that in car parks as well, right? And you know, there are bigger cars that can do better, like a Range Rover can pull tighter turns than this, and well, that's because it has rear axle steering or 4-wheel steering. And yeah, that is one feature that I'm really wishing for in this car, rear axle steering. I have to say though, when it comes to ride quality, like this car, it's superb. I mean, it apparently has like adaptive suspension or some kind of active suspension, so it scans the road ahead and it adjusts its dampers to suit. Okay, now I've just found a little bit of horrible tarmac to drive on, and look, I'm actually really comfortable inside. And I can tune the suspension a little bit as well, so I've got a choice between balanced, between ride and handling, and something called rear comfort, which I guess is the softer setting for more comfort behind me, but honestly I can't really tell the difference. So maybe if I was sitting in row 2 or 3, but you know, whatever it is, like when I think about it, I can't think of like, there's no car out there with 6 or 7 seats that's fun to drive or that I would actually kind of look forward to driving once in a while, except this one. I mean, this is a really well sorted car.
So let's talk about ownership now, starting with warranty.
Right, that is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers for the vehicle, and 8 years, 192,000 kilometers for the vehicle's battery. And the battery is considered good until it degrades down to 70%. And you know what, Ash, I gotta say that is not a top tier warranty anymore. Like here in Singapore, it's quite common to see 10-year battery warranties.
But if any car company has a long and sturdy track record with EVs and battery longevity, it has to be Tesla.
That's right, like there are millions on the road, and Tesla has done an impact report, and the 2023 report found that based on cars that are already running around, for the Model 3 and the Model Y, the batteries actually degrade by an average of just 15% after 320,000 kilometers. And that's like 20 years of driving in Singapore. So if you ask me, the battery in this guy should last a long time. Is this the best family EV on sale today? Well, in terms of 3-row SUVs, I do think it's the best one to drive.
It's not huge, but big enough to be versatile.
I do think that it would be better as a 7-seater though, with just a normal 3-seater bench in the middle and some kind of tip-forward mechanism for access to the rear, because at the end of the day, do you want to pay so much more for just one extra seat?
And they definitely need to make a single motor variant, otherwise road tax is just crazy expensive in Singapore.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that one simple change would make this car so much more attractive and sensible for the family car buyer.
Because we all love our families, but nobody loves paying taxes.